Good morning. So, didn't do any more on the house last night, of course, but it looks actually really good. So, today is Sunday, and I'm going to do some work and stuff on it today. I'm going to get the tar paper on here, and I'm going to start the process. Here's my thing that I really and truly know how I am. What I am is I like to see progress made. And I want to see the tar paper up on top of here, and I do need to get the metal strip edges to go on there. So after we put it on there, the drip edges, and I need to put the semi-gloss paint on the trim and stuff. But I would love to get the trim put on to the doorway and on the corners, at least on the front corners here, just so I can get some of that siding up on here so we can actually see what it looks like. Now, I don't think I have enough siding. I'll probably need to order more of it. Although the nice thing is the front won't take much siding. I think I've got close to 2 squares. It was a full box. I used maybe two, maybe 3 pieces of it. So it's close to a full box. I know I have enough for the front and for this side, and at least it'll make it look a whole lot better. So it's a new day, getting my coffee, getting my morning video in, and then I'm going to be back out here working on it. Okay, so I'm at Home Depot picking up some things that we need, of course, for our building. Now, we are going, of course, above and beyond a normal shed. So I'm actually seeing this is called Smart Siding, okay? Now, this stuff, it's pre-primed. It looks great on the outside, but this is for our door. But it is actually OSB that's in here that I do worry about it getting wet because you're going to open and close the door. For the 7/16, it's $57 a sheet. For the 3/8, it's $43 a sheet. Now that's probably going to be okay. Now what we're going to do with our doors, we're going to make a 2x4 frame for it. This is going to overlay it, and then we're going to take 1x4s and go around the door to trim it out and make it look really nice. So I'm going to paint this anyway. So I'm actually going to go with the 11/32, which is about 3/8 of an inch thick, on here. And I actually like it better because we'll still paint it on the inside as well. Don't know why my phone, my camera is just kind of like shutting off on me. So we're going to get this, we're going to get our drip edges for the roof, and while we're waiting for the paint to dry, and then we'll be able to start trimming, and I'll be able to start putting the tar paper on the roof. Okay, so I just want to do a little bit of comparison here. So this is about as close to what we're building shed-wise, size-wise. This one is actually 10x12, we're 8x12. And I just want to show you guys what the cost is on this. $4,586. Now, granted, some of the materials that I've used, I've had leftover from other jobs and things, and I could have to purchase them and stuff. But probably if I were to buy everything, it would probably be in the neighborhood of about $1,500. This is the siding that we're using on the door. That's what this whole thing is made out of. The door is roughly about the same size. We got about a 4-foot door, and you can see the windows. Now, construction-wise here, it's not bad. It's got the plywood floor on here. It's a nice space. We got maybe a little bit more headroom in ours. They've got vents here on the ends. Interesting way they framed this, that they should have probably, would have been nice to have had another 2x4 here underneath this, but it's okay. It's kind of toe-nailed in there. And it's got that siding that is the same thing that we had. So, no rafter ties on top of it. I don't know that I'd want to be on top of it. But basically, this right here, what you get is same size building, $4,500. Ouch. No way. Now we're going to put our drip edges on there. We're going to make our nice door, good lock on it, hinges, hardware, and all that stuff for a lot less than what that is. All right, so we're actually going to be doing a little bit more in here. I thought I had more tar paper, but it's really only enough for 1 strip, so I'm actually going to have to go get some more. But instead of wasting the time of going to get that now, I want to see something different here, okay? I'm tired of seeing green because I hate eagles. But, yes. Okay. No, it's fine. I've got some stuff off there. Okay, so back to this. My wife had some brush she wanted to throw away. So what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna take, I took my 1x4 and I cut that 2 3/4, and we're gonna basically use some construction adhesive, my finished nail gun, and we're gonna nail that together and make a corner. Now you could go through and you could buy yourself the plastic corners to go in here for the siding and stuff, but I kind of like having the wood ones actually, or actually I prefer the AZEK ones. They'd last longer, but since we painted these on both sides, we've got them sealed up, and we're gonna put those on here and make it look really, really good. So I'm gonna get gluing and nailing, and then we're gonna be able to actually put in our corners. I'm gonna trim out around the doorway here, and I'm gonna put up a few pieces of siding just because I wanna see it with the siding on it. Yeah, I'm like that. Okay, so now it's nailed together. We'll put some filler, some ready patch into those holes and seal that up. But now you can see we have our corner right here, and we'll touch up the paint on it. And where that's gonna go, it's gonna go just like that. So that'll give us our corners here that we'll end up putting our siding pieces, or excuse me, our J-channels and our starter pieces in here, and we'll be able to start running up some siding once I get the other corner put on here. And we'll also trim out the door, because those are all going to be really nice short pieces that are going to go in there. This is going to look great. Now I will go through, once I put this up here, and I'll take the ready patch and go through here and fill all the holes, and I'll hit the paint on it one time before we put it up. And now the next thing we'll be doing after these, we'll be cutting, I'll cut 2 pieces 80 inches across and 48 inches across the top, and we'll be able to nail those together to go ahead and make our casing basically for our door. And then we'll go around it with molding as well, so that way we'll have this all nice and trimmed out to match the house. All right, so you're beginning to see how this is getting trimmed out. You see the corners and everything in here. We'll end up doing, we're gonna wrap the top of the rafters up there, of course, 1x6s, and that's going to come down and wrap around all of that. But you can see we've got our framing for our door there, and now we'll do the same thing. We'll end up running the molding around it. We'll trim off the house wrap, and then this is just about ready to start putting some siding on. I do need to go through, fill in the nail holes, touch up the paint on that, and basically I'm using this board on the bottom as a guide to make sure that we have this plumb, level, and square across here. But this is going to look great with the siding on it. I cannot wait to get that put on. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so here's where I'm getting ahead of myself just because I want to see what the siding looks on here. I can go up so far with this. I can't go all the way, but I can go up pretty far with it. I do have to get the 1x6s for the fascia to go in here and actually build my soffits to go in here. So that's where the siding will stop, but I do want to just see the siding on here. So I'll take my chalk line, I'll snap that so I can cut the paper off of there, and I can go ahead and get my starter strips put on here and actually put a couple pieces of siding on and see how it looks. This will be really easy to do here because it's just going to be really short pieces. That won't take me any time. I can probably side this whole thing, well, I don't have enough siding for it, but side these 2 sides in about an hour. I will need to go up here, put some more paper up on there, but definitely beginning to look pretty good right now. So I want you to know that actually the way we're building the shed is the way we would build a house. Okay, so everything that we're incorporating here, if you're building a house, you're doing the exact same thing. You're just doing it on a bigger scale with a lot more materials. So the first thing we've done is we've got our starter strip here at the bottom, plumb and level, and then it's just a matter of going through and putting the siding in, clipping it in, snapping it together, and nailing it. Now, here's the key on doing siding, okay? You want to start on the side that is opposite the way that you're going to view the siding. And the reason being is when you overlap, if you're always coming in this direction more times or not, you won't see the seams. So if I were using pieces that were going to be longer than what they are, I would start from this side. That way when they overlap, the overlap would be here, and you wouldn't notice it as you're walking down this way. You'll notice it when you're coming up this way, but this is the direction that I would be coming in more times than not, and that's where you want to have the clean look on there. Tell you. See, now you can see we put the white flashing it matches the house over here. And so this is going to give us the same kind of look. Now my siding has been down up underneath here for about 2 years now, so it's probably a little bit dirty. So we're going to have to definitely clean it up, and hopefully we have enough to do at least this side in the front, and then I'll order another box of it. You can see how much debris on it, but I'm happy that I got it. All right, so we got our first piece in here. Now we're going to nail this. Now here's the key on siding. You have to understand that siding plastic is going to heat and it's going to expand and contract. So what you do, what you'll notice is there's slots, okay, and you're going to end up putting the nail in the middle of the slot, but you're going to leave it loose. So you basically hang siding, so that way it can float, it can open, it can close. If you look at a house and you'll see it's kind of buckled up, it's because they ended up putting the nails too tight and it's not able to expand and contract like it's supposed to. So we're going to get this in here. The nice thing is because the building is 12 by 12, we're just cutting off a little piece of each of these for the length of this, which is good. So that's trash. So taking a look at this is actually beginning to look pretty good. I just hosed down the siding over there to get off some of the dirt and stuff. Unfortunately, I thought I had almost a full box underneath there, but it looks like it was only about a half a box. So I probably have enough to go up the sides here on the front, and that'll be it. But if I can get most of that done, it will take probably about 3 weeks to get another box of siding, but it is the back and the other side. But since we have the paper on here, the house wrap, it'll be okay as far as being watertight. And I can work on some of the other stuff. I can work on the soffit and getting that. I can put the roof shingles up on here, and definitely going to make the door on here so I can actually start using this. But I think it's beginning to look pretty good. So I'm working on getting all my J channels on here. We'll go ahead and get those set, and we'll get our starter strip. Now I only have about 2 full pieces of siding left and a lot of short pieces, but those will be nice to be able to fill in here. So at least when we come down the hill, we'll get an idea of what it's going to look like. So I think that's going to be a really nice looking shed right there. Yeah, I just need to get more siding. Okay, I hear the whistle from this train coming through, which is the regular train, the passenger train. But I heard a whistle coming from the other direction there. I'm just doing this just in case there's a train crash. Now there is a north, south, east, west, so maybe that one was going north, south, and this one's going east, west, or west, east. Okay, I don't hear a boom. That's good. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to need another box of siding. That's all the siding I have. It was probably a little bit over a half a box, which is about a square. So I think one more box will be enough. I'll have to order it, but it's come a long ways here for a short period of time. The good thing is I can work on getting the roof on here, building the cupola, getting the door. In fact, if I can get the door done, I can actually start using this and locking things up in here. So I've got a piece of the siding that we saw this morning. I'll go ahead and put that out here on the sawhorses, and I can go ahead and get a coat of paint on it to start the process of getting that ready to go. And yeah, I feel good about that. I think that's going to look good when you look down the hill and you see the building there. And definitely run some power out in here, so that way we can have some outlets and lights and stuff in here, and an exhaust fan. Well, we actually got quite a bit done today, and the sun's getting ready to go down, and I just want to start doing, or at least I'm getting the process started of building my doors. So I'm going to build the doors out of 2x4s, and we're going to end up putting this on. We're going to use the 1x to go on top of it to make like X's and stuff, and then to make it decorative. Now, a couple things I've done here, because it's such a wide door, I've beveled this just a little bit, so that way when we close the door, it'll be able to swing past the corner of it. And what I've done is I've gone through and I've beveled this edge, so that way when it goes together, it'll be turned as well. with just a slight bevel on it to be able to open and close up easily. And we'll put a diagonal piece in there to help keep it true. And then of course we'll end up screwing the plywood to it, which will truly keep it square. And then we'll put the 1x on top of it. Unfortunately, that's it on the siding that I had. I thought I had more, but I will order a box tomorrow. Don't know how long it'll take to get here, but it's going to be what it's going to be. But at least it kind of looks there. It's going to look unfinished for a couple of weeks. Okay, so here's our frame. We've got about a 1/2 inch space on the top of that for that we can have a gap and stuff to work around. And you can see we got about a 1/4 inch gap around the side of this, which is good. So when we put our hinges in it, it'll be really, really close. So what we'll do is we'll actually put this onto the plywood, and we'll cut the plywood to match the frame, and that will be able to square it up. Once we get the left side and the bottom even with it, it will be square, and then we just trim it up. And we've got a door. Now then, once we're done with that, we'll do our diagonal once it's true to make sure it sticks. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll line this up even with this edge and the bottom corner. And then we can pull this down so it's flush, and it'll be square by the factory edge of the piece of plywood. And then we can just chalk line that and cut it. Well, looks like I'm running out of light. Surprisingly though, it's actually brighter looking at my camera here than at the door. So I was doing that. Now the question is should I go ahead and cross the whole thing? That is the real question, or should I just leave it like that? So I could go ahead and cross like this. What do you guys think? X, or just like that? Either way, it's definitely a lot. It's going to be a nice big door, and with the frame up work and everything on there, it should be able to stay nice and true, and should be here for a good long time. As always, we're going to go ahead and put away our tools and lock up. But as always, I appreciate you guys for being here and being part of Jobu Sports Report, as well as Jobu's Day Job, where we do a little bit of everything. Peace out.